Kawaii. It's time to do kawaii stuff cause it's kawaii time. Yeah! Best intro I can come up with. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazable coming at you with some new music reviews. Always, thank you for coming on by and supporting the channel. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, and comment, and just tell us what else you want to see here. And yeah, so let's get that out the way. Well, that's out the way. Today I am checking out the latest release from a band called BABYMETAL with their newest album called Metal Fourth. If you are familiar with metal and alternative stuff, you probably don't need an introduction for this band, but if you don't know, BABYMETAL is a Japanese metal band that's been around since 2014, 15, I think. They mix like J-pop style idol music with metal music, hence BABYMETAL. And they've gained like a cult following over the years, not just in Japan, but worldwide. They're probably one of the biggest, yeah, that's crazy. They're probably one of the biggest metal bands to come out of Japan. So they've been really pushing the music scene out for Japanese culture for a long time now. And with this latest album, they are pushing things a little bit further with a lot of features and everything, and having one of their newest members finally being recorded on their stuff, because they had a member leave a couple years ago. This girl came in and filled in. The other two members have been in the band since the beginning, and so they've been on all the records. So this is a little bit of a different album because they have the newest member and everything. So let's get into this review. I feel a good way to kind of explain who BABYMETAL are in terms of their style is that they always live in a space between, extremes. Idol pop and thrash, playful hooks and crushing breakdowns, spectacle and sincerity. There's always this like extremeness with this band. And I feel like with this latest album, Metal Fourth, they really doubled down with this philosophy by recruiting some really interesting guest vocals for a very stacked up lineup of collaborators and, pushing their hybrid sound into some new directions. And the results are you get a very ambitious, globe-spanning record here that sometimes feels very exhilarating, sometimes feels a little bit uneven. But one thing for sure, it is never dull. And from the opening track featuring Poppy called From Me to You, it is very clear that this album is all about collision. Because here you got some really dense riffs, tight drumming, and sleek synths that just layer very nicely that really set the stage for Poppy's really harsh screams. Which brings a very deep rawness compared to, BABYMETAL's more polished and almost icy vocal deliveries. It's very thrilling when all the pieces kind of click very nicely, even if the chorus at times feels a little bit, lacking in ferocity compared to the lyrics during the verses. Collaboration is literally the lifeblood of this latest record. And the next track, Rat-Tat-Tat, featuring Electric Callboy, is a very gleeful, chaotic song. Stitching, J-pop exuberance with EDM metalcore humor that really feels both, seamless and quite ridiculous in a great way. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, you have Con Con featuring Bloodywood, which is possibly the album's most crowning jewel and most amazing achievement. Pounding new metal riffs fused with traditional Indian instrumentation, layered with vocals in Japanese, English, and Hindi, really makes this something larger than the sum of its parts. It's bold, it's theatrical, and it's a reminder of BABYMETAL's ability to, cross cultural boundaries and make things that feel very natural than just very gimmicky. It all blends nicely. Unfortunately, not every experimentation on this album lands, and one example of that is on the Song 3 with Slaughter to Prevail. Here, they're trying to like merge glossy, almost robotic J-pop tones with some really deadly deathcore brutality. But the mix of these two genres just feels more like a patchwork than an actual blend of the genres. And then you have the song Metal featuring Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine fame, where they kind of introduce traditional Japanese string instruments with the very bass-driven framework. But the novelty of using the Japanese instruments kind of drags a little too long, so it kind of like loses some momentum by the end of the song. And in these moments, it really highlights BABYMETAL's approach to, taking risk. When the balance slips a little bit, the concept kind of overwhelms the song. Still, there are plenty of moments on this record where BABYMETAL are able to, you know, adapt very well with their collaborators. Sunkiss featuring Prolifery really tempers the band's bright vocals with, you know, more intricacy, but surprisingly, the restrained guitars are, you know, I thought there was going to be a little bit more, but they are very tamed here. And so with this track, you kind of get this really nice, delicate give and take of like some really intense guitar work, some nice vocals. They were able to mesh these two bands up very nicely here. Then you have My Queen, which features Spirit Box, and it leans more into like a metalcore crunch. And Courtney's screams on this particular song really give the song its sharpest teeth and some of the sharpest moments on this record. And even the other like middle way song called Kawaii with a bunch of X's in it, not too sure how to pronounce it. It's an interesting trap influenced song with a very weird stop and go playing style with the guitar riffs. It kind of works as an off-kilter palette cleanser from all the metal. It's short, strange, but overall it's kind of intriguing. But most importantly, Metal 4 doesn't let the features really swallow the band whole. Algorithm is one of the few songs on this record that doesn't have a guest feature on it, and it proves that, you know, BABYMETAL can carry themselves very well here with very high octane J-rock urgency. Galloping riffs, dynamic drumming, and a few deep growls that really, you know, cement the band and its roots into metal. When the album closes with the song White Flame, I feel like BABYMETAL really unleashed their most epic performance here, because this track is like a blistering Dragon Force style finale that just whips through blast beats, soaring riffs, and sharp dynamic shifts. It's the band at its full power, and it's really good that this was the closing song because it really reminds the listeners to like, yo, you know whose album this is, right? This is a BABYMETAL album, and this song really proves that. This latest album from BABYMETAL, Metal Fourth, is an album that is just built on ambition and variety. At times, it feels a little uneven or even a little bit disjointed, but its highs really prove why BABYMETAL is such a singular force in the heavy music world. They're just not bridging genres here. They're building a very global metal playground where chaos, culture, and collaboration all have a place at the table. To put it simply, Metal Fourth is a bold, messy, and thrilling experimental album. Sometimes uneven, but when it hits, it proves BABYMETAL's vision of metal without boundaries is wild and it is exciting as it ever could be. So this latest album from BABYMETAL, I would say they did a pretty good job here, and it's a very fun listen. So I would have to give it a good and okay 7.5 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this album, what your favorite BABYMETAL song is. Should I go back and check out the other BABYMETAL albums? Until next time, guys, see you in the pit.